Alright, welcome YouTubers to Everyday Journey. Today I got the FS70 up here on the workbench. Having a little bit of problems with it. I guess the last 3 times I used it, this thing seems to get weaker and weaker. I even put a comment out there at one point with somebody, tell them that you know, they were asking about whether theirs shook or whether mine shook. And I've never had anything like that happen with it, but my comment was that it seems to be kind of getting weaker or something of that nature. Anyway, it did get weaker and weaker, and the next thing I know, I'm out there using it today. It was crazy because I go and I'm using it. I've got it full throttle. The thing's just barely turning, and I was afraid if I let go of the throttle that it would actually die on me. And that I wouldn't be able to get it started again, so I just held my finger on the throttle. You know, I didn't have it full speed, but had it to where it was getting some gas, and until I finished the yard. And I swear it was it was fun. I knew it kind of had an issue with it to begin with, so I started to grab my spare weed eater, and it turns out I couldn't use it because there's no twine on the spool, and actually with that one, for some reason, it's a Ryobi one, and for some reason the spool, you know, there's a nut that you're supposed to be able to hand tighten and hand loosen off of it. It wouldn't. I can't get it undone. I have to use a pair of channel locks to get it undone. And you know, last time I used it, I just basically just left it, let it be. Been using this one ever since, and so I went to go try to use it, and it turns out I didn't have any channel locks, so I had to go with this one, and it just didn't work. So I mean, it worked, but man, it limped its way through the whole thing. It made it what normally would take, you know, maybe 15 minutes to weed the whole yard. It probably took at least 30 minutes. So here's what I think it might be. Couple of things it might be. I think it's either the spark plug, or I think it's the air filter. It probably is the air filter, but we're going to start with the spark plug. And one of the issues I had with it, right off the bat, within a month or so of having it, was the spark plug was actually, it fouled out. You know, it was so new, I didn't expect that could be it. So I was like, oh wow, this thing, you know, it's not starting at all. What could be the issue? So I take it in, and you know, I was going to have the compression tested on it. And the reason why is because I couldn't test it myself. I saw that the spark plug was looked like it was kind of blackened or whatever, so I cleaned it up, but I never bothered starting it after that. But the compression tester that I had, it wouldn't fit in here, so I had to take it down and have them test it. When they tested it, said it passed with flying colors. So I'm like, alright, that's not it. So put my clean spark plug in there, and the thing fired right up. You know, I haven't done anything to it since, so could be the spark plug, could be the air filter, could be even the fuel filter, but that typically would make it not start at all. You know, so let's tear into it real quick, and I'll show you how to do it, and at the same time we'll see what it is. You know, you gotta grab hold of it like that. The spark plug is right in here. It looks like 5/8, so I'm putting our 5/8. Oh really? Well, hopefully you don't have that problem. Just dropped it in the housing there. See if we can get it with a magnet. Yeah, we got it. Alright. Well, if you can see it there, I mean, it does have some oil and stuff on there, but right around the tip of it, it's really not that bad. I mean, yeah, I'm going to clean it up and everything, but it's not too horribly bad. And if this thing has been actually running with way too much fuel and not enough air, then that could kind of help cause that too. So we'll go ahead and clean that up. Take ourselves a wire brush to it. Alright, that's as good as I'm going to clean it off, but let's put it back in there, and I'm going to go ahead and fire it up just to see if that wasn't it. I don't think it is. I really think it's the fuel filter, or not the fuel filter, the air filter, but just to see. We'll see what it does. Try not to knock anything over here. that's not it. So now we go to our air filter. We got the cover right here. This is a T27. If you didn't have it, you can get the Torx bit, but it comes with the weed eater, trimmer, however you want to call it. So we'll go ahead and take this out. And I kind of like that you do need a tool to get this off, because the one I have for Ryobi, that thing just kind of falls off whenever it wants. Alright, stop by and bought one of these. I don't think it's actual steel part, but it doesn't matter. You can already tell. I mean, it's not as dirty as this one is. And they both have an arrow on it. The arrow goes up, so you put it in there with the arrow facing up. This one's kind of tight, so put that one in there. Go ahead and screw this back down real quick. Fire it up again and see what it does. All right, see if it's any better. No, it's not. So now I'll look at the fuel filter, see what I can see. I can see down in there, it looks like it's okay. It could be the fuel filter, but shouldn't be any reason why that should have gone bad already. I mean, it looks like it's fairly clean. So now, holy cow, it's like a bunch of elephants up there. Now I guess we actually really get into it and see what's going on. Let's go ahead and take the top off, see what's going on there, see if we can see anything obvious. Oh, they got that on there tight. Oh. And here on the bottom, hopefully this doesn't pour out as I do it, but here on the bottom there's a bolt right here and one on the other side. There's also one here and one here that I believe I need to take off. Alright, so we're going to have to convert the whole handle too. I do kind of find this less than ideal to have to work on this so soon, but maybe it's just something simple and it won't really matter. There we go. So we'll go ahead and put the head of this out of the way. Now that we got the top housing off, one of the things we can do is actually take this spark plug back out and look inside down inside the head of this weed eater. Sometimes you can see if you've got an issue. You can't really tell on this one if it's smoking or whatever, because well, it's 2 cycles, so it doesn't seem to be smoking any more than it normally would have. But one thing you could do is look down in here with a flashlight. Of course, this thing is so tiny we may not be able to see anything, but look down in here and see if you can see any kind of wear on the cylinder wall. I've gotten a flashlight, looked down in here. This thing's so small though that I couldn't really see anything in there. Putting my finger over it and turning this, it seems like it's got some vacuum and some compression to it. Test the spark plug, I just take it and put it in here, put it close to the any part of the metal right here, and go ahead and just crank it real quick. And I can see a spark. You guys probably can't, but I can see a spark that passes between the two. So it seems like it's getting spark. So because I can't really check out inside here without taking it apart, don't really want to, I'm going to go ahead and start taking apart the carburetor a little bit. So I guess I'll turn this around, turn the camera around so you guys can see it better. First things first, I actually need to remove the two bolts or two nuts here. Where are we at? These are actually 8mm sockets that fit it. So I'll go ahead and take those off. Now if you notice, we've got a hose here that needs to come off. So I'm just going to take a flathead screwdriver and kind of pry it. And now we should be able to remove this. So do it carefully so not to mess up. And you can see the gasket there. That gasket's okay. So should be able to reuse that no problem. So the next thing we got is we got the linkage for the throttle. You pull the trigger, you can see it moving over here. Probably really should get all this out of the way, but I'm not doing it. I'm going to leave it on there. I think I can get it off without it. So what we'll do is we'll actually push down with a screwdriver our throttle, take a pair of needle nose and just kind of pull up the throttle cable there, and then we'll just pry this out of the way a little bit so we can pull that out of the way. So now the throttle linkage is off. Last we have a hose here on top, and let's see if you can see that. So this right here, this actually feeds the gas into the primer bulb, which then would feed it into the carburetor. So we could probably expect to make a mess here. I'm going to put it over the top of my, I don't really want it on my bench. So I've got this piece of wood here. Shouldn't really leak too much. Gravity should pull most of it down back into the tank. But all I'm going to do is the same thing, kind of pry it back a little with the screwdriver. It's going to make my garage smell like gas. I'm sure the carburetor is already starting to come loose. And there we go, that hose is off. Carburetor's already loose. Hopefully I'm not messing up any gaskets here. We got one more hose on the bottom. Let's see if you can see it. Let me grab the flashlight. We've got a green hose down here that attaches on the bottom of the carburetor. We're going to go ahead and pull that loose. It goes directly down to the gas tank. It's actually the one that's attached to the fuel filter inside here. So same thing with this one. Just going to pry it loose. Get the rest of it with this now. There we go. Alright, now the whole carburetor should slide right off. So there you go. That's how you remove the carburetor. I'm just going to clean it all up real good. Try to spray out the ports and everything. Make sure that's not an issue. And I'll get back to you. Let you know how it goes. Alright guys, I put this thing, sprayed it all out, cleaned it up the best I could. Of course I think I ruined the gaskets, top and bottom side of the carburetor. So I'll probably have to buy some new ones, but I don't think that's the problem anyway. I think it could be compression, honestly. So what I did is I bought a compression test. Well, I've got the compression test kit, but I bought the adapter so that I can actually put it in this small little hole here, and so I'm going to test it out. Got to put it back together real quick so I can get some actual leverage to crank this thing. But we'll see what we get. Alright guys, the compression test went through, we got about 90 psi. Of course I'm using a something that's designed for a car, so it probably could be a little bit better if I had one that was designed more for a weed eater. But the next thing we're going to try now, because it should be running, except for the fact that I may have messed up the carburetor gaskets, we're going to check out this spark arrestor. If this thing's clogged up, and there's a good chance it is given the amount of oil and everything that I'm seeing here, that could be my problem. So I'm going to take off the muffler here, get inside here and check out the spark arrestor and see if it's not just clogged up. If it is, and it's not being able to actually exhaust anything out, and that could be my problem. It could be why it was slowly getting worse. Holy cow. It looks pretty nasty. Oh, I guess I could probably just take off this. Need a flathead screwdriver. And all this is just the screen that keeps the sparks from flying out and catching everything on fire. Some people take this completely out or punch holes in it. Pry it up a little bit here. I've never actually removed one of these myself, so if you guys are just tuning in, this is the first time I'm seeing it as well. So just doing it like you guys would do a little bit of searching on the internet, find out exactly what I may be looking at, different things I need to try. There it goes, it's coming out. Holy cow. You can see that, I mean you can't even see through it. So I'm going to take a little wire brush here, try to clean that out a little. This could be my entire problem. May have messed up my carburetor for no reason. Alright, let's stuff it back in there and put it all back together and see what we get. Oh, there we go. It's going in now. I was about to say if it starts to fold in and I couldn't get it in, what I would have done at that point is go ahead and trim the edges just a tiny bit, make it fit a little better. So alright. Put this back on. See how that does. Alright guys, there you have it. Kind of a pain in the butt to work on. You know, I went through and checked all the things on this and it turns out that it was just the spark arrestor there. I didn't really think of that beforehand. Never really worked on that before. So this is the first for me. I kind of like this weed eater though. I mean, I've said it time and time again. It does its job, it does it well. It's been going on now, what, year and a half, 2 years, something like that. And you know, that's the first major thing right there that I had to do anything with. And had I known, I wouldn't have had to take apart the carburetor and all that. But at least it showed you guys how to do all that stuff. So now I've got cleaned up the spark plug. Got a new air filter on there. Fuel filter looks good. Spark arrestor is now clean. Kind of cleaned it out on the inside a little bit. Cleaned up the carburetor and all that. So it's, you know, it got a nice tune-up now, all because of this. So let me know what you think. Let Let me know any comments you got about this. If you've got the same kind, I'd love to hear your comments about how well it runs for you. If you use this video to be helpful for taking yours apart and doing whatever you need to do to it, let me know. I'd greatly appreciate it. Definitely subscribe though, guys. Alright, y'all take care.